With its pristine coastline and celebrated vineyards, Western Australia's Margaret River region has become one of the country's most popular tourist destinations. But some locals fear their clean green image is under threat with news that the federal government has released a site for oil exploration off the coast. The area is in deep water and any drilling rig shouldn't be visible from the shore. But with the recent leaks in the United States and at the Montara rig in the Timor Sea, the potential for an accident is weighing heavily on many minds. Danielle Parry reports from Margaret River.
Some of the world's best waves can be found here off WA's southwest coast. No one knows these breaks better than international surfing star Taj Burrow. After years on the pro tour, he still calls this surfing mecca home.
Very special place. I grew up here in Yallingup. Started surfing out there on the reef when I was about 7, and yeah, best place I could ever imagine growing up. It's pretty special to come back to the southwest, you know, when I've been on the road. This is a huge hotspot for surfers all over the world.
Like many locals, he's angry that the Commonwealth has given the green light for oil exploration off one of the country's most prized stretches of coast.
I couldn't really believe my eyes. I thought there's no way that can happen. Obviously, it could never happen in such a beautiful place, so it just seems ridiculous. Any kind of oil spill and the place would be ruined. You know, I've been to a lot of beaches that have had that happen and they don't really recover from it. It's an awful sight.
The Mentel Basin off Margaret River is among 31 sites released for oil and gas exploration by the federal government this year. The deep-water site is 75 kilometres out to sea in an area currently being assessed for a possible marine park.
The release of areas for exploration acreage for petroleum is just something which happens every year. They identify certain areas which have got potential, depending on prospectivity and the like, and it's a process which happens more or less automatically. I don't see it as being inimical to what we're doing in terms of the marine planning process.
The decision has pitted the oil industry against environment groups who are worried about risks to the region's rich marine life, including thousands of whales that pass by on their migration to and from Antarctica.
The particular location is right on the edge of a large submerged island off our coast, and it's called the Naturalist Plateau, and also a very important area of upwelling where currents bring food from the deep ocean to the surface. So it's a very important area for migratory species like tuna and sharks and whales.
The industry, I guess, has been operating offshore around the country for around 40 years in some of Australia's best environments, most pristine environments, and we've been able to do successfully for a number of years now. So we're operating off the Great Ocean Road, off Ningaloo, off the Kimberleys. The premise that these exploration permits sterilise the ability to actually put new areas into the Commonwealth Marine Reserves are actually wrong.
More than 500,000 tourists visit this region every year, and the chance to get up close and personal with these ocean giants is a major drawcard.
Absolutely awesome, awe-inspiring. Everyone should do this. This is unbelievable.
Charter boat operator Paul Cross used to work in the oil and gas industry himself, but he's against any proposal to drill here.
We've got 6 months worth of whale watching, 22,000 whales migrating along the West Australian coastline, and if anything happened, it would just destroy the whole region. That means every winery, every beach.
So how's your day been?
Good. Quiet. We've had a few days. This is a quiet day.
Yeah, good.
Onshore, Margaret River has won international acclaim for its fine wines and has become a major tourist attraction in its own right. Vanya Cullen runs one of the Southwest's oldest vineyards. She's worried her vines and the region's clean green brand could be jeopardised if there's an accident offshore.
We operate a sustainable biodynamic vineyard making quality wines, and a lot of that is the purity of the air and, you know, the climate here, and the ocean is a big part of that climate.
The federal government and industry both acknowledge that the Gulf of Mexico oil disaster has severely dented public confidence in the sector. Oil started flowing in April, and the cleanup across 5 US states has already cost BP more than $3 billion. But the industry says insatiable demand for energy means Australia can't shy away from pioneering new reserves and fast.
Obviously, this is going to be a new frontier, but if Australia is going to address the significant deficit that this country currently faces in oil and gas, then we will need to find a new oil and gas province very soon.
I think that what we've seen in the US obviously raises high levels of apprehension about issues to do with potential accidents, particularly when you're drilling as deep as they have been in the Gulf of Mexico. What I would say is that we will have in place the strictest and best regulations as is needed to ensure that we're properly protecting the environment.
Despite such assurances, locals are yet to be convinced.
This is one of the real family jewels. It is the cleanest place that I've ever lived. I think we have here the cleanest water, the cleanest rain, the cleanest air. It just can't happen.
Companies have until May next year to signal their interest in drilling, but any successful exploration bid will have to secure environmental approval.
There's nothing that's risk-free, but what we have to do is work very closely with industry to make sure that risks are absolutely minimised.
This coastline is not worth risking. We know the industry cannot respond to a deep water oil spill. The right thing to do is for the government to stop this now.
Danielle Parry reporting from Margaret River.